Hello and welcome back to Ouachitalk. I'm Ben.
I am your local anti-Donnie, and we have the Luther family with us today. Why is the Luther family with us?
Well, because today is an episode about our dear friend Jon.
We're going to go through and introduce everybody. All right, so starting with here.
My name's George Luther. I'm Jon's dad.
I'm George Jr. I'm Jon's oldest brother.
Jeremy Luther, Jon's older brother, George Jr.
Silas McCready, Jon Luther's son.
Melanie McCready.
Right. A
And I'm
whole
Ben.
room. And I'm Donnie. So when Ben first come to me with the ideas of what is now Ouachitalk, one of the things that Ben told me we would be doing is posthumously recording people who are no longer with us and remembering those people in different ways and talking about the good times and the impact. Just Jon Luther alone, I mean, the impact on the music scene here in Monroe and West Monroe. So let's get started, Ben.
So just earlier I was telling Mr. George, I think it's kind of his fault though.
Yeah.
You know?
I believe so.
Growing up, I saw a picture with you with the trumpet, so...
I have played trumpet in the past. As far as Jon's concerned, his mom and I handed him a microphone when he was about 2,
Nice.
and everything went from there.
So before we get into the stories, when you hear Jon's name, what's the first feeling that comes to your mind?
Oh,
Talent.
yeah.
I got the word special.
Special.
Very special soul.
That's good.
Very special soul.
I'm gonna go with a little childlike innocence.
Childlike innocence, I like that.
He put his little head in your chest when he told you to walk up to you. So he's
Dumb.
Hey, you were the older brother, why not?
Yeah.
Silas, what about you? What's the first word?
His mullet.
It's mullet. Oh man, that's a classic.
Yeah, I guess he did with that black hair and that mullet. He looked like Johnny Cash.
I always think of that one image where I don't know where, but the first thing I think of is his mullet. I don't know why.
Oh man.
How would you guys describe Jon to someone who's never met him? Not the legend of Jon, but the person that he was.
Oh, pure genius. Like, he was extremely talented
For sure.
and funny.
He'd sit in the shop and just, it was idea after idea after idea until I went, please write it down.
Yeah, I agree. His brain never stopped. He always was trying to think of some new angle or some way to interpret things.
Funny.
quick-witted.
For sure. He had a stellar perception of things. His filter that he took everything into was one of its own. And it was an amazing thing. It was an amazing thing.
I would see Jon walk into a room full of people in a bar setting where we're all playing music or whatever, and I would notice that he would let them decide what to come up and say to him.
Yeah.
He didn't go seek them.
Yeah.
They came to him to speak.
And it seems he never had to do that.
He didn't.
From the gate.
That's right.
He was himself, completely, uniquely, and he never bent to the contour of what was around him.
Exactly.
He let those things shape themselves unto him.
Right.
I think that was very admirable.
Yeah. It's a very rare thing to find.
Very rare.
It is.
John was a bit of an animal whisperer. He would take care of all the household pets, the usual turtles and cats and dogs.
Pigs.
Yeah, my wife Susie, she had several potbelly pigs through the years, and John's the only one that could go in the cage with them usually. They try to eat us, but John would just talk to them.
And
they'd
sneak
go
on
his
some
way.
bacon too.
I remember one day coming in and John was walking around the front yard in his bathrobe, and there were about 15 chickens following him around like he was the mama chicken. Where they came from, whose chickens they were, I never knew.
I know that firsthand because, when he would come visit me, that's something he would always do. I have chickens, and that's something he'd always do is go out there to the birds and just hang out with them.
Yeah.
And we always had plans of beekeeping together.
Yeah.
We wanted to do an apiary down there.
He and Melanie had exotic birds, and they
Oh, yeah. We wanted to start our own bird sanctuary.
Not animal life. Even
Tell us about one of the birds.
Even sights.
How'd you get that bird?
How did you get that?
How did you get that bird?
I sold the Mercedes that he talked me into buying. I got rid of the van that had air conditioning for the Mercedes, and then we sold the Mercedes to get all the African Greys and Macaws.
I think all the Luthers have
Those African Greys were mean though, huh?
Yeah, they were more of like the breeder birds. But after the female, she died, and they're like, that's another thing that John loved about the birds, they were mates for life.
Yeah.
And when when the female passed away, the male died shortly after that, so.
I think all the Luthers have this weird air of confidence about him. We had a shop on the corner of 6th and Louisville, and I brought John up there to show him how hard life was, and then the next thing I know, I had him running the register and talking to customers and all of that, because just like you talk about when he would go into a club, it's the same way with people in business.
Yeah,
you want to be
He
what
was a
they need you to be
smooth
for the time you're in front of them.
Right, they gravitate.
Yes, right.
What was John like as a kid? Quiet, wild, curious. I mean, what stands out from his
I
childhood?
almost killed him when he was about 2.
Yeah.
I was chasing him to the house. He was on a little wooden. He was always getting stitches, but this was the first set. He was on one of those little brown and tan horses with the wheels on it. I was chasing him through the dining room, and he steered right into the corner of the wall and just split him right up the middle.
When John was in grade school, I guess about the second, maybe third grade, the school had, their usual show all the kids off to the parents up on the stage, and John was the only one wearing the silver glove for Mr. Michael Jackson.
Nice.
He also hit his head. Y'all were on my motorcycle, and you said duck, and he said where, and what you meant was duck, and he hit his head on the keys.
Did he have a scar? That little.
He split his head open there.
That's from the inside of the compass. We can do a whole podcast just on John's stitches.
Jeremy was going to help him off the fence and pulled his feet out from underneath him and hung him on the top of the fence like that. His little legs were just dangling.
Yeah, he still had those scars too.
Yeah, so he was curious, outgoing, all that. Jeremy, you had you and your friends had the truck group, and all that growing up. So y'all were a little older than us. Did we bother y'all?
That's rhetorical.
I wanted to strangle every last one of you because none of you could play music when you started at all.
I think it was reciprocal.
Not even John.
We did get some of it back, so.
Yeah, but your older friends, our older friends, which was your group, looked out for us.
Yes.
We couldn't find John one day. And we looked all over the yard, all under all the beds, under the house, everywhere. And went up on the levee, and there was this elderly black man coming up, had his pail with his fish in it, and had John around his arm coming this way. He says, "Have y'all lost something?" So John never met anybody he didn't like, that I know of.
He found John standing right by the river.
He could conversate with anyone at any time and become friends with that person. So
You mentioned his creativity. When I finally had a little brother, I actually thought that for a change, we might be able to gang up on this guy. No, they ganged up on me.
We're not telling those stories.
Dang the luck, bro.
I used to lay on the floor and pretend I couldn't breathe till they'd call somebody.
Did John ever tell you, like, this is what I want to do when I grow up? Like a dream, like type of thing?
Paleontology. I remember John.
Paleontology?
yeah, from time to time he did. I know we visited that place where the Grand Ole Opry is. They had this big hotel there, and we went in there. Naturally, we had to go to a few music shops, and John ended up with the guitar. And you should have saw him light up when the lady asked us getting out of the car if he was one of the entertainers for that night. Of course, we said no. I think John would have said yes and gone on stage.
So
He also thought he was the baby dinosaur from the TV show, The Dinosaurs.
I
No,
believe
he
that.
always thought that. That never went
He
away.
would break any tension if somebody was arguing or whatever. He would come up and go, "Knock the mama," and smack them just like that.
So that story you just shared with us,
Yeah.
was that the first notice that you took that music or creativity was going to be central in his life, or was there another time?
There were times earlier than that. He loved listening to me awkwardly play the trumpet, and we always had a radio going, or I had at that time lots of albums that we played, and he'd sing along when he could, and so he kind of came out of the gate a little musical in that he was trying to learn some of the things.
I know he loved records. He used to tell me, why did they call them records? Because they are a record of time and life. And we would sit around and he would tell me things about my records that I didn't know about. And I'm just dumbfounded, like, wow, man.
And Dad sells himself short, awkwardly. Yeah, we grew up listening to him play the trumpet.
Dad was on it.
Records, yeah.
Dad was on an album.
Yes.
In later years, he'd come with all this seventh augmented diminishing whatever. And he knew what blueprint would happen when a certain number of notes were played or
Yeah.
a certain group of notes were played. And he could pick them out of a song. He could say, oh, well, that chord is such and such.
Yeah.
And so he had a good ear.
Could he read? Could he read music?
Yeah.
Okay. No.
Yeah, he could read music.
I knew he could play by ear for sure. I didn't know if he could read music.
Yeah, he could read it and write it, and man, I was looking at some of the chord progressions that he would put together.
Yeah.
Wow, it's beautiful.
It's I can't read music myself, but it's on the level of Beethoven and
Yeah.
all those type people. The way it looked when John would write it.
Yeah.
What was his buddy when they started playing guitar?
Josh.
Josh.
I come over to, John was, see, I got married when I was 18, so John would only been like 10 years old. So within a couple of years, he was playing guitar. So I'd go visit my parents sitting in the living room on, what was that?
McMillan.
And this horrible sound would come from the middle bedroom. And my mom would go, he'll learn. He'll learn. I went, soon. And then one day, he is self-taught.
Yeah.
No music lessons that I'm aware of.
Well, I know there was a book this thick of Beatles songs that y'all had.
I know Josh's dad spent some time with him. Josh's dad was a heck of a guitar player.
Yeah.
Right. Kevin Barnes.
And so he spent some time with Kevin, so I know he learned some from him. Nothing official, but just spending time with him, he picked up a lot.
I remember one time he did like one of the Beatle covers. He had that white album tape set out there.
Yeah.
Sit and play over and over and over and over. He had a little Tascam, sit there, play with that thing.
Oh, yeah.
Chord.
Yeah, George, y'all
you got
used to
to
have that
work like-
Beatles trivia game. Didn't you on McMillan?
Yeah.
God, he knew every answer to every question on that in that
Then he
game.
would actually, he did not want to do covers anymore at some point. He got married, it was like, I'm only doing my own stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what until he came into his own. But yeah, that was back during there. In fact, it was John, Josh, Jake, you, even Matt Segura at one point.
And Pennington.
And Pennington, yes. Yep.
And I remember an evening, Pennington and John and a couple others were playing at a place called the Loose Caboose.
The Loose Caboose in Western Road. If it were not for that show, I wouldn't be playing music.
At the end of their set, John jumped in to Pennington's drum set.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And it went everywhere.
I was there for that.
Everybody loved it except John Pennington's parents, who were standing next to him. They didn't find the humor in it.
Not quite as humorous.
That was the ending that John wanted for his song.
I thought that was really cool. I can see it right now.
Yeah, but look, I mean, just that show alone, you guys, I'm talking to you now, these guys know it. But that show alone, seeing a guy who I sit next to in science class, jumping into some drums like Kurt Cobain. You know, we're what, 13, 14?
Yeah.
And the noise that he made put me where I am, and you know what I done. So Jon Luther is directly responsible for everything. and again, like Ben said, we blame you.
It's truly your fault. It truly is.
There was also a time when there was a newspaper had advertised their group. I think it was John.
JJ.
Yeah.
Carter,
And Josh Barnes.
And Josh Barnes, and what was the group's name?
Chamber?
Zulu Chant.
Zulu Chant.
Yeah.
Zulu Chant.
Well, his band director at West Monroe kind of indicated to him that, you know, he could not be in a band playing somewhere, because his band director was on the same newspaper page, because he was playing at different places. But John's picture with his group was about twice as big as the
Been
band.
hanging in the front of the Mexican restaurant there on next to Walmart.
Yeah, it was at not El Paso. It's El Paso now, but Chili Verde.
Chili Verde, yeah.
Yeah, it was hanging there.
John was profoundly good at naming bands and song names and titles.
Yes, yes. He-
That type of imagination that he used in his writings.
Yeah.
I mean, his writings were unparalleled. The poetry and his music, it was just.
There was a time at Richardson where they paired him up with a local deputy, and he actually did duets with the deputy for "Don't Do Drugs."
Yeah, nice. And they did "Love Me Do"
Yep. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So,
by the Beatles.
you know, as we sit and think of, a lot of things come to mind about how we loved what John did, and some things we weren't really crazy about him doing, but
Yeah, but it all came
he was a
together.
good kid.
It all came together. Silas, do you remember your first experience where you're like, oh my God, this is the music side of my dad and all that?
Yes. So, at first, whenever I really only saw it because she would show me, but whenever I saw it, I didn't really know it was my dad because, I hear his voice when he's casually talking, and then I hear it whenever he's singing.
Oh yeah.
And I'm kind of confused because it sounds like someone completely different.
Wow.
Yeah, he's always like, there's no way, that's my
I could see how, because John's demeanor and the way he spoke
Yeah.
was 180 degrees.
And especially with his
That
children.
is not my dad.
With his
that was
children,
not.
it was different too.
Yeah, yeah. Did he have a favorite song of yours?
One of my favorites was Mistress. Mistress.
Play on words, you know. Distress.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell why it's my favorite. It's just. This is why you don't bring a 13-year-old to a podcast.
No, it's good.
it's
It resonates with you.
Yeah,
It resonates with you.
Good point,
And
Silas.
you hear that song, and there's a feeling that you get when you hear that song. You can listen to a million songs, you're not going to feel that.
It's just the rhythm. It's goosebumps every time.
yeah. And sometimes there are no words to describe this crap.
Yeah.
It's a feeling.
With someone like John, it is a feeling.
Exactly.
100%.
Even when he
Feeling
talks
it
about
stays
talking,
with you,
his whole voice changes the way he talks,
Yeah.
the way he spoke.
Definitely.
Well, of course you would know. You sound exactly like me.
One of John's later performances was in Ruskin, and he and his daughter, Silas's sister, Judith, and John did some singing up there, and Judith was in front of the crowd doing her thing, and John accompanied her. So,
Yeah.
That was at the Sundown.
Yeah.
Yes.
We played that show.
Yeah, we played that show.
John,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, they were painting trees.
yeah,
No.
Well,
We were painting trees.
I actually played that show with you guys with Anthony on drums.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we did swamp grass, then painted trees, then it was Judith and John.
Yeah, but let me tell you how it
Or
originated.
maybe it was a little. Maybe I got the
It was something like that.
something like
What was
that. Close enough.
I was supposed to play with Judith
Oh, okay.
at first.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was supposed to play with Judith, but I know that I wanted to see them play together, and I know that's what Judith wanted. So I backed out, and I got John to learn the songs like the day of, or the
Nice.
day before. Yeah.
Where was this? Because I saw
It
it.
was
It was
2017.
2018, and it
2018.
was, yes, it
That's
was
what I said.
August the 18th in 2018.
I still have a
I
flyer.
remember because I
Elephant
thought
never forgets.
I thought it was.
Elephant
in my
never.
phone.
I thought it was so beautiful, and then all of a sudden it hit me the Greek tragedy of any other parent that sang with their child.
It's one of those things, for me personally, that started out as an idea and snowballed. Just like this coming Saturday, it snowballed. When Judah said, John's gonna join me, I didn't cry, but close to it.
Yeah, yeah.
I was
There's
excited.
a local photographer that was able to snap some pictures of that performance.
Corey
Garrett.
Corey Garrett.
Corey.
Corey Garrett. Check out his
Garrett was a
photography.
super guy, because
Yeah.
that was just phenomenal that took place.
Yeah.
Yes. He did. Did he get some video?
Yeah, he did.
No, Mitch Lane got video.
Was Mitch there?
Yeah, Mitch did.
Mitch Lane got video.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was a very, I don't like the overused word epic, but that was a very epic night.
Yeah, it was.
It was a
Amen.
very epic night.
I want to know where all the hidden photographers came from the years before. Even like, I'm pretty sure the last time I ever saw y'all two play was on Louisville Avenue.
Right. Yeah. Where were the photographers?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
these pictures show up, and you have tons of them.
Oh.
And
Because I would hand out disposable cameras.
Yeah.
And they would.
Yeah.
They would
Different
turn them in.
times.
They were in the
We got them
Mullen
on our-
Our
performances.
development.
Yeah.
For you younger people, cameras used to have to be coded separately.
Yes.
1 hour photo was a thing.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
At least
Once upon a
that.
time.
Yeah.
John played at Enoch's one night, and
Well, yeah, I'm trying to remember the name of the restaurant. It was Enoch's little place
Yeah.
down there. In fact, our Quick Lube was right there behind that, so he spent a lot of time
they
there
had
at
another
lunch.
place off the Zid one night. I'm trying to remember where that was.
Oh man.
Anyways.
There ain't no telling. I mean, there's countless shows. But the very first show for me with Jon Luther was in front of Shipley's Donuts in 1996. So that's February 1996 at Mardi Gras. So that was
That's what
our.
I'm talking about.
There was a picture, now this is on MySpace, back when we had MySpace. There was a picture of John at a piano. And it said Jon Luther, The Dead End. And I remember just seeing the picture. I had not met John yet. I had not had the privilege of meeting him yet, you know. Out of everyone here, I knew in the shortest amount of time, you know. And just that picture, I was like, I want to play music with this fella. You know what I mean? Like I knew, I could see it. I want to, but I was drawn to him.
Yeah.
And then when I met him and I was able to play music with him, I was like, man, I was right. You know, I was right, 100%.
When you say across
You know,
from
John-
Shipley's, did you mean in the Shipley's parking lot or across the street?
In the Shipley's parking lot.
In the Shipley's parking lot, okay, because we were right across the street
Yeah.
because Curry gave us this big window.
That's a black and white.
Because that was prime real estate.
Of course.
During the Mardi Gras back
Sixth and
then.
Louisville? Yes.
Yeah, you know, so it was great.
John was one of our children that had said, and I almost remember him saying that he wasn't planning on having a lot of children.
Oh God, he was fertile.
John's wife and two of his children live in Tennessee.
Yeah, and say their names. Give a shout out.
Say their names.
Thanks, Donnie. Thanks a lot.
It's Stacy and
Stacy.
Aria and Astrid.
Stacy and Aria and Astrid. And Aria just got, in fact, a couple of talisman, a guitar for
Yeah.
Christmas, early present for Christmas.
that was his favorite, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The talisman.
I've always been a fan of creative names for children in an age where everyone has
Yeah.
a John and a Ben,
Yeah.
Donnie.
Yeah.
All of John's children have
We do.
awesome
And then,
names.
and of course, Judith had came in before that. And then Silas followed up in the group somewhere.
Yeah,
He just landed.
But by the time Silas came around, they had the bearded guys, and one of them was Silas. So that kind of was mainstream at that point. But when he came up with Aria and Astrid, I went,
And we at our house have one of John's, Lunabelle is with us. She's 8 years old. So
We can safely say fertile.
If you want to follow along later, we can do a dry erase,
that's one of those charts that goes.
just go to, it'd be quicker to go to Ancestry.com, look it up.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
So during a writing session or a jam session, What was John's temperature typically? Was he chaotic? Was he whimsical? Was he majestic? Was he just very...
Oh, I can tell you. I can tell you exactly how he was. He was very, this is how it's going to be. This is the idea.
He had a vision.
And if you can't do it,
Yeah, but not in a derogatory.
Focused.
The only time
Focus,
he started
focused.
being serious about anything.
was with his music.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the music, with everything.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say, anything he did. Okay, so I've got a channel, Gen 10 George, where we work on metal stuff, but John would help out. And he built this little cubby. It was his little cubby where he had all his little engravers and grinders and everything, and you'd hand him this piece of steel and go, take the rough edges off.
Yeah.
And then he'd be gone, and he'd come back and I'd have to go, you took half the metal off of it, man. Look, just the rough edges, okay?
But that stuff was rough.
Yeah, but while he'd sit there, he invented different pickups for guitars and all these different things he wanted to make. And at the time, we couldn't get equipment like that. But now, if he was still here, there's equipment we could have gotten that would have built these things that were in his head.
Right.
There could have been a whole line of pickups by whatever strange name he'd come up with.
Right. And in the writing process, rarely, if ever, did he ask for help. He had the whole plan.
He had a vision.
Yeah, he had it all laid out. I need you, Donnie, come here and you do this. Jake, you do this. You know.
And if he had an idea, like for like the 13th Suite, if he was focused in on that, he would be gone. You wouldn't see him for days.
I believe
It
it.
was strategic to say the least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had asked earlier if y'all bothered us. No, I don't know if you remember, I wasn't very nice sometimes back then, like, especially out in the building and stuff. And when I actually started being nice and not giving him such constructive criticisms, he actually came back and asked for it. Keep doing what you're doing.
That's what you told him?
No, he did. He was like, okay, I'm not gonna pick on him anymore. And, no, he was like, no, I need that.
Yeah.
So he wanted
Man,
to.
you do sound like your brother.
Yeah, he does. He sounds.
Wow.
What you got in your pocket? What you got in your pocket?
Paper.
The entire time I've been alive. One of those fell out of his pocket at Walmart. As long as I've known him, he's always had an index card in his pocket.
Hey, you never know.
Let me show you what's on it.
Nothing.
No ideas, no here's what I would do if I were you. It's just a blank piece of
That's the
paper.
way of thinking in advance, though.
There may be a pig on it before the show's over.
Yes, there could be a pig drum.
Tell us about this guitar. Show the people the guitar and tell us about it, you guys.
You got a pen in your bag?
So first off, John liked attaching stuff to his guitars.
Yeah. That little eye that he has on there.
And that speaks John.
There's a picture of him when he's like 13, and he has a necklace on that same. It's not the same exact one, but I don't know. I think it resembles his eye. And then that little mirror on there.
Yeah.
That he can see what people's reactions were when he was playing guitar. Yeah, if they were into it or not, or if they were paying attention.
I don't recall the origin of the Charger gas cap. I think it was mine. I could be wrong, but I know it ended up on a guitar.
Yeah.
Not just on the guitar. He drilled a hole in the guitar, got a hole in the guitar, put it in the guitar because it would change the sound of it, and then I couldn't get it
It
back.
was on the Ranchero one time.
Man,
I remember the Ranchero.
For you metal guys, it was a 68 Charger gas cap that folded out like this, and that guitar went to his daughter in Tennessee
Yeah.
when he passed away. So,
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a
So y'all can't-
one of a kind. Definitely a one of a kind guitar.
So, Mr. Silas,
Yes.
what was John like as a father?
So, as a father, it's hard to tell because most of the memories I have of him, I was like 7 years old and I was not conscious or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Just try your best.
So, whimsical, and I don't really remember him. I'm going off topic here a bit, but
Go ahead.
Okay, buddy.
I don't really remember him making music as I was, around.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if that was an early thing or.
I just went off alone and did that.
Yeah, but there's so much I see, and in your age now, I see the guy I met in junior high.
Like, I'm assuming anything I do is an
Mannerisms.
example of what he would do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The snail,
Yeah.
the videos that you post, Melanie. All those things.
He used to do stop motion videos.
Yes.
He would take your camera and he would make these videos when he was just
Back
really
before those
young.
guys got rich doing stop motion, John was doing stop motion in our front yard with our
Boxes and stuff.
We're talking 40 years ago.
Yeah.
We're talking camcorder.
Yeah.
Yes, a huge camcorder. You closed the video.
When we first
you closed the
met, I was
VHS
carrying
tape,
one of those.
VHS tape and you go plump.
Oh, when we first met, when we first hung out, I had one of those big, you put a big VHS tape in it.
It was like carrying like a suitcase on your shoulder or
Yeah.
something.
He was doing that and making babies?
What a life.
Not when he started
Like,
making the
man.
videos.
Those are in the vault to be released as
He had the ability to be philosophical, humorous, and brutally honest, sometimes in the exact same sentence. Where did that come from? Or was that always within him? We're gonna blame you. We all point at it. We're gonna blame you.
You're the older.
He's got a lot of his mom's traits. John was our last child that I remember. And
There was supposedly one before us. but-
And so we had more time to spend with John a little bit than we did the first two. But he was a good kid, all things considered. So I guess his mom probably nursed him into that, knowing those kind of things a little more than I did. But,
As parents, don't we go through a couple to dial it in anyway?
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
nature.
Let's see, you
When
had
get better,
17 years with
Yeah.
age. How old was John when he passed away?
40,
42, was he 40 or 42?
2 or 3 days before 40, I think.
Yeah,
So would it be
so he had
safe-
17 years with me and 40 years with you, so, okay.
Would it be safe to say that he preferred creating alone? Or do you think that there was a part of him that preferred to collaborate with others?
I'm gonna say alone.
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 Definitely.
Yeah.
When me and him, I can't speak for him and Josh, him and Pennington, I can't speak for any of that. But when him and I collaborated together, it was always fun, but it was so limited. He always had the plan, the whole idea.
Early on, he collaborated with other people, and then there was an event that led to him only
had,
wanting to be closed up about it, didn't
I
want to
think I
share
know
with
the
anybody.
His mom and I
We'll leave
had
that out, but, you
25.
know.
I was gonna say, his mom and I had a 25 by 17 or 18 building, and all of his things were in there, and he could sit down. We got him an old used desk, and he had filing cabinets, and he had wall places where he could hang his folders and recording equipment out there.
He had he had a piano with a zip drive in it. Was it
Yeah.
zip drive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He saved up for that.
I have the original zip drives and the written music.
He, and you could make all the noise in the world there where we were, and nobody heard it, nobody complained. Speaking of saving up, John's first keyboard,
Yeah.
K-O-R-G, I
Chord.
Chord.
Trinity.
It was like
That was
$6
his
grand,
favorite.
almost $6 they wanted for this thing. And I said, okay, you save half of it, and I'll help you with the other half, thinking that I would never, ever have to help buy a cord.
Well, let me tell you, we worked at different restaurants for this money, and John wrote on the wall of our practice room the amount of money he had saved.
Probably about 6 months later, I had to fork over the half of it to get this cord.
So it's safe to
Yeah,
say
that was the one with the zip drive.
he envisioned things.
Yeah.
And then he brought them into, in his creative way.
He worked
in
his
all
dad,
things.
knowing exactly what to do.
Yeah, he worked his pops, that's
In my
right.
attempt to help him, he helped us.
In 1996, Mr. George Luther took us to the studio, and we recorded a song called "Tame the Sun." And that whole session cost what, like $260?
Yeah.
Something like that. And I came to Mr. Luther and I said, "Here's all my pay from this week," and it was $40. And he said, "Thank you, son." So that was my contribution to our recording. But 91.1 played our recording. We took it to 91.1 and they played it. We thought we were rock stars. And in 1996.
91X has always been
Yeah.
kind
Like
to,
you just
to the
Yeah, here of late, I hear them playing a lot
Yeah.
of music of people that have, you know,
Yeah.
passed on.
They played John's music on 106 after
Yeah.
he passed away.
If John could have been released without restraints, he would have been world famous.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Man,
Yeah.
that's a true statement for sure.
Oh, yes.
100%.
He only needed people to help with his vision.
Right.
If that, he would have been Beatles status.
Did he ever confide in any of you what he wanted his legacy to become as a songwriter?
Nobody wanted to tour. They just wanted people to hear him. That was it.
Yeah.
It was.
You know,
Big one.
he never went to any concerts except for one, and I took him to Paul McCartney
Oh, where at?
Nice.
in Bossier.
Didn't he meet Paul?
No, I tell you what we did is we hacked Paul's
He told me this.
phone account.
He told me this.
I can't whatever password we hacked. John knew the dates and births of his wives, his children, and all of these things. And we sat there, and for 5 minutes we had access to Paul McCartney's phone.
Yeah, he told me that.
And it was true. It was true. We were sitting there going, "You've got to be kidding me!"
Well,
And
22,000 other people.
yeah.
Did John hack into this?
John, yes.
Wow.
Because the arena was set up on a shared internet server.
Yeah.
So we were able to hack Paul's phone because you could see everybody's phone in this list. And that was hilarious. But he sat there. Paul McCartney played for 4 hours. The man did not stop to drink water for 4 hours, okay?
That's a dream come true for John.
Yeah.
He went off stage. Everybody was, wanting him back out. He came out and did 3 more songs.
Oh, man.
And John was, and it felt electric in the room. You feel the hair stand up on your skin, and it just felt like little
it's a
sparkles.
spiritual moment.
It was.
Yeah. It
It
is a
was.
spiritual
For any of us that were involved in around music, it was absolutely incredible. I never need to see another concert again. That one was it.
Yeah.
I would, I'd like to add that John never really finished his high school education. And where I worked, the state had put in a trailer and had 3 teachers there, and they were running people through in order to get their diploma. I had John signed up and attended, and those teachers told me that they had far and few found people that were as intelligent as John and as eager to learn. And he got his high school diploma in a trailer outside of the GM plant back when it was here.
Nice.
And I was really proud of him for that.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. And that goes to show how many people get slipped through the cracks in the public systems.
Yeah, that's true.
We're not going to go into politics, but
Okay.
but people get missed.
Yeah.
I'll say the public system needs a hands-on where, I didn't do well with fractions. If somebody laid wrenches in front of me, I would have learned it in 5 minutes.
Right.
I'm tactile.
Right.
So, but you raised a bunch of tactile people. People always touching stuff.
But John got all the musical talent. I'd probably play in the jungle and everything in this room. That's it.
I played French horn and trumpet and mellophone. Is that the marching trumpet?
I don't know.
I was in the Wasserman marching band.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
I feel like
And
flugelhorn doesn't understand.
And Silas, do you play anything?
I do play piano, but really only because it's the only thing I understand. Like, on piano, the higher up you go, the higher the pitches. On the guitar, the higher up I go, the more stupid I start to feel.
Yeah, I understand. Hey, and your sister Judith is, oh my God. Between the two of y'all could be on tour right now.
Well, we could add in
after school.
We could add in my eldest son. He can play anything John could play.
Oh, I've only done it once.
Georgie can play electric violin,
Yeah.
guitar,
Put them
trumpet,
together?
all
Yeah.
We'll put 5,000 behind them. Send them out.
Georgie decided to become a pastor instead of playing music. So
That's awesome.
That was an amazing thing about John, and it was never a jealousy thing. He was actually amazed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess I have ADHD. I didn't come home with the same instrument like every couple months. I got in so damn much trouble all the time.
You had that, what did I come on by trans?
A sousaphone hanging up the window of a Trans Am one time, and I won't tell you what Dad asked me when I wouldn't play one.
Oh, and you played trombone. The guy across the street almost got beat up over it because,
That was a tenor sax. But no,
Oh, was it saxophone? Yeah.
John, you could hand him these same instruments, and he would perfect.
Yeah, wind instruments are great.
I'd also like to
Suck
add,
on the part before you can play
thanks
it.
to you guys for doing this kind of thing, because it's really good that the word gets out and people understand that, we had a good man in John, and that we loved him from the get-go, and
This is fun.
And
There's
a
been a lot of good
solid
memories
friend.
that have come up tonight because most of my
Solid
stuff.
friend.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, he was mine for sure. One of my only ones.
y'all's efforts is really appreciated.
Hey.
Thank y'all.
It goes both ways.
We're thankful for you to be here.
Yeah, it goes both ways. There would be no anything that I've done. You want to talk about cotton board coffee, Paraground, Tribal, anything, Dax Riggs coming in here? There'd be none of that if Jon Luther, your son, and your brother, and your father had not taken the time to spend time with me.
Yeah.
So it goes both ways.
It's great because most of my memories with John are always on the frustrating end. But I felt as the one called to point out things, but I forgot about half the stuff we talked about until we started talking about it tonight. That was
Right.
cool. That was really
Thanksgiving 2000 will have to be another episode. That was a great one. George.
cool. Oh, when I chased him up on the roof with a cast,
Oh.
y'all wouldn't let me get to him.
Well, hey, real quick though, tell us about your podcast and your show.
Well, mine in a podcast, I restore antique machinery. We're thinking of doing some podcast stuff.
Is there a link that we can put down here?
Yes, it's Gen 10 George at YouTube. Yes, we're good right here on the screen.
Yeah.
Right here.
Really big.
Right
Really
about
big,
there.
right here, yeah. Oh, yeah, there's a.
It'll be on this.
It'll be on this card that has the really cool black lights in here that I keep getting mesmerized by. Are there black lights in here?
Yeah,
I also do 3D printing with black light stuff, and I got it at high speed. It looks really cool, and it's
Nice.
stamping out.
Put like plugs in, and nice to do it.
That's the only plug I have, is Gen 10 George. It's,
Are there any? Are there any?
I didn't expect it to be.
Are there
you look
any
just like your mother, just so you know.
stories about John
That was from the last
that are
one.
just humorous? It doesn't have to be a story from being on stage or from being.
He could.
Time that Mom and Dad came home from vacation early and he was in the living room.
I'm not telling that story. I'll never eat potted meat again because he left some on the counter.
Oh, no. That's not the one I'm talking about.
So you just find a whole different story
It's all on tape, and it's in the,
in the archive.
My earliest memory of this one is I dropped a bowling ball on him. I was, again, 8 years older than him, so for most of his early life, he was just that thing running around that took up space. And then, like I said, I brought him to the shop. I said, this is how hard people work. Life's hard. You need to focus. You need to do this. And then I ended up hiring him.
So in a lot of ways, I kind of think his humor, like a lot of us, it was a way for him to not necessarily
Yes.
just cope, but to connect.
You could
To
be
infiltrate
as
you,
mad as you wanted to be at him, and he would pull something out of his rear end, and you just collapse in laughter. You just,
You just smile one good time, bro, and it's over.
yeah,
The
yeah.
whole room is like,
I give
everything's
up,
okay.
you know.
Good.
Yeah. So,
You win, buddy.
yeah, he was taken too soon. He had made some decisions in his life that would have bettered it, but that would tire a slew of podcasts.
He had a big enough personality that we're all sitting here talking about him. I
Yeah.
guarantee we wouldn't be here sitting
Yeah.
here talking about me.
Well, you know, man,
Amen.
I think we'll all, as long as we all draw a breath, anyone who knew John will always speak on his name. And
That's right.
it'll always be carried through the memories of him. And
His nephews loved him dearly.
I'm going to tell you right now, the music scene that we have here would not be the music scene that we have here without Jon Luther,
Amen.
by far. by far.
For decades, people would hear my last name and they go, "Didn't your grandfather have Luther's will alignment in Monroe or whatever?" I ran into a guy the other day that was old enough that remembered going there, but for the last decade or so, they hear my last name, they go, "Was your brother Jon Luther?" You know,
That's right.
And so Monroe is big and it's small, but to leave an imprint on music like that with so many musicians here,
It's impressive.
Yeah.
it must have been, you know.
Yep, when I first went walking through one place in Arkansas, it's one of the guys stopped me and was like, "Are you John Luther, bro?" I said, "That depends on what year you knew him."
Is it a parole? Is it a parole officer?
Depends on why you're asking.
Right, and that leads us to this, you guys. Besides John's beautiful children and his family, what is John's legacy? What is it?
John was complicated. John leaves a legacy of do's and don'ts that could fill books, novels.
It was a trick question, and you jumped at it.
If you knew John, you know that a conversation with him could fill books or novels.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He was so intelligent, and he carried himself in a great way. He could articulate things. I mean, we would have conversations just into the night, just long conversations, and you about couldn't argue with him.
John knew the Bible, he knew the
his-
Quran, he knew all the other mysterious books that went on.
The four Ninja Turtles.
He did a lot of reading,
A lot of esoteric knowledge
Yes.
was within that man.
and if it weren't guys for you, there would be no legacy to, if you don't repeat the legacy,
It dies.
I know, like 6 months before he passed, he told me he was learning 4 different languages.
I
I
mean,
was at a
I
pawn
believe
shop the
that.
other day and saw Ninja Turtles and thought, John would like this.
For sure. Are there any projects underway to preserve or share any of his art that may not be accessible?
Well, I've been talking to somebody about getting his music together, and there's too much to put in one album.
sure.
But I'm trying to get it where it's the solidarity of it, bring it all together. And I've still got to talk to you about that.
Melody's done a lot of hard work.
Yeah, Melody's
on
done-
SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Melanie's done so much footwork. Melanie is waiting on me to get recordings ready for archiving John's stuff. So
On my
yes,
computer. Wait, were you gonna?
anywhere.
Yeah.
But I'll send it to her.
Go ahead.
On my computer, I have about like 3 slideshows or documents about like showing pictures of him and his music.
Yeah.
And just stuff about him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Silas makes really cool slides.
That's beautiful. Didn't we see one recently on Facebook?
Yeah. Oh, no.
Yes, you did. We already discussed.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was already in trouble for that.
I went
Slowly coming across different avenues where he has left music on tapes and on hard drives. And
Yeah.
It's written down, it's everywhere.
I recently found, there's other songs I found on my hard drive. There's a newer version of the 13th Suite on there. They changed the lyrics from what they were before. I don't know, it was 2021.
We'll have CD. Yeah, that's one I told my dad pour everything apart trying to find it out.
Yeah, see, I found a new version of it. So I listened to it last night. Someone told me to listen to it. I'm really happy that I did.
Can we do an earliest memory of him?
Yeah, please. do.
Okay.
And John has some good kids that will also help to move his legacy forward. These youngsters.
Fertile.
My parents were helping redo the swings, the playground at Bartle Falk Elementary.
Yeah.
And John ended up in the newspaper. He's sitting in the swings with his face.
Pensive mood.
Yes, pensive mood. And
Pensive mood.
his father, J.L. Luther, had a picture of it on his wall, and impressing J.L. Luther was difficult at best. And but he had like an 8x10 in a glass frame of John sitting in that swing set.
So that would be, out of all the media, that would be first.
That's first. That is first.
That's good to know.
Looking up at the clouds, sitting in this tire swing.
If John could sit here with us for just 5 minutes, what do you think he'd want to say? I honestly feel like how many people do we have? 8 people here? I don't think we could formulate
Nah.
I don't
I think you say hi to all
He would
of
sit
us.
like
a moment of what he would say.
If you picked each person and they could say what you thought he would say to them, his perspective, if you go, you're right, I was a dumbass. But
Be asking for
what about the rest of y'all?
I don't think he talked about himself.
No, he don't.
He would tell you what he appreciated about everybody else.
He'd want to play some music on your equipment. That's what he'd want to do.
Yeah, he'd pick apart the equipment. Yeah.
That's
what
right.
he'd want to do.
You know,
He would probably be staring at these guitars, thinking in his mind which one.
And he'd probably try to show Silas a song.
Asking for a guitar.
yes. Nice. I love it.
Little bastard had a pony. I didn't get a pony. George didn't get a pony.
That was my pony.
John had a
Shorty
pony.
horse.
John had a pony?
Was it George's
was
pony
bought
or
for me.
John's
Put
pony?
yourself out all you want. That was
Let me
John's
say this.
I went to my school, it went everywhere with me. Yeah, Shorty horse was mine.
Shorty horse was
He couldn't
my
even
pony.
sit on it.
pony. Just taking care of John's horse.
No, whatever. That was
Let me say this. Hello, hello.
John's
Hi.
pony.
Maybe it was George.
There were several people in the room when John was born. His mother and this other one saw him take his first breath. There were several people in the room when John died. And those two people, among others, were in the room for his last breath. One was his mother, who is the bravest, most courageous woman that I've been fortunate to have been married to for over 50
Suzanne.
years. And the other was Jesus, and that's my firm belief.
Amen.
Amen.
Well, guys, we appreciate you coming out tonight. We thank you very much from the heart, sharing everything that you have about John and with John. And until next time,
Keep the memories alive.
thank you guys. Thank you so much.